right? The beauty about having a canned presentation, your objections will always be the same. Those objections from the client. And remember, an objection is simply a question in the mind of that seller or that buyer. We're going to be talking about the listing presentation, right? Listing presentation. So my question to you is, why do we need a listing presentation? Like, can't you just go in there and wing it? Who here wings it? Like, you sort of feel out the client, and I'm going to come in there. I want to see what they're going to say, right? And then I'm going to go with it, right? I'm going to go with the flow. Who here wings their presentation, listing presentation? Be honest.
No way.
They're going to call you guys liars. You're all liars, right? I know for sure you guys wing it, right? So why do we need a listing presentation? Why is this key, right? And realistically, what I wrote down was this. It's important to know what to say. Like, it really does. You really need to know how to pace and lead that conversation with the consumer, right? When you know what to say, don't you feel more confident? Don't you have that energy, that excitement? Because you know, hey, this is where this conversation is going to go, right? I'm going to ask this question. They're going to answer. They're going to move on to this question, then that question. You're pacing and leading that conversation. So that's number one. Having a listing presentation, simply know what to say. The second thing I wrote down is, by having a listing presentation, it will improve your efficiency. You will be way better with your listing presentation as time goes by. If you're saying the same thing over and over again to a different consumer, right? Every time here's a canned presentation, here's another presentation, you will get better at that presentation without question. You will realize, hey, this is what's going to happen right now. They're going to ask this question. They're going to have this objection, right? The beauty about having a canned presentation, your objections will always be the same. Those objections from the client. And remember, an objection is simply a question in the mind of that seller or that buyer. So you'll get better at that whole presentation of handling objections. See, like, and the objections you will get will be different than the ones that I would get, or the different ones than what Iman would get, right? Because of the way you present your presentation. And then there's nothing wrong with that. It's just now knowing, hey, I know I'm going to get this objection because of the way I present it, because of my marketplace and what people in my marketplace, this is what's important to them. But that's okay once you have that answer. The third thing I wrote down is, business becomes more predictable for you. You now know that, hey, for every 10 listing presentations I go on, I will get 8. Right? Of course, we're always trying to get better as time goes by, but a minimum standard is 70% here at Tom Ferry, right? You should definitely get 7 out of the 10, right? Now, do we want to get 10 out of 10? 100%. But I would say to you, no. If you're getting 10 out of 10, if you're going on 10 listing presentations and getting 10 listings, what that tells me is you're not going on enough listing presentations. That's what that tells me. You should not be 100%. Right now, 90, 95%, I'm digging that, but not 100%. You need to go on more presentations, right? Next thing I wrote down is, by having a listing presentation, you will look more professional and be more professional, right? Because a presentation takes time to build up. The presentation, doesn't start when you knock on that door. When does the listing presentation actually start? Does anyone know that? When does the actual listing presentation start? Anyone want to guess?
When we make our calls. I'm
going to add to that. I'm going to say, as soon as you book that appointment after making your call. Okay, so regardless how that appointment comes up, if it's through, let's say I'm prospecting, I'm calling my database, and they say yes, actually thinking of selling, I go great, and I book an appointment to come see them. Like that's when the listing presentation starts. Or whether you're following up on a lead that you've been connecting with for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then finally they're like, yes, come on over. Right? The listing presentation starts. So write this down immediately after you set that appointment. That is when the listing presentation starts. So what do? I want you to think of your process. As soon as the presentation, as soon as the appointment's set, what do you normally do?
I like to send a bum video.
Okay, so everyone's got a process, correct? I'm going to share with you a process for what our top agents are doing. Right? Man, you can add to it, you can change it, it's up to you, but you need to have a process to, as soon as you start that listing presentation, as soon as that appointment's booked, here is a process. And Renee, I love the fact that you sent it a bum video. That's brilliant. But I want you guys to write this down. Here's the sequence that I would recommend. So, right, put at the top, listing process. Step 1, set the appointment. That is step 1. Okay. Appointment set, step 1. Step 2, qualify the appointment. Okay, folks, you need to qualify the appointment. And this is a step that most people skip. So what's involved in qualifying the appointment? Well, you need to ask a series of questions to the consumer. First of all, to make you look more professional, and secondly, to get the information. So what type of questions would you ask? And I know many of you say, well, I need to know what the house looks like. Haven't been there, so can you share with me about the house? I'll get there. But there's a few other questions that you should ask. So
Timing and motivation.
yes, motivation is definitely one of them. So finding out where do they want to move to? Find out how soon would you like to be there? Find out why. Why are you thinking of moving there? So the where, when, and why would be all under motivation. Right? So motivation. Second series of questions you may ask would be all around price. When I see you, Owen, tomorrow at 6, how much would you like to list a home for? You can ask, is there anything positive or negative about the home that could affect the price? Right? Maybe get into this point, describe your home for me. Again, under price. You could also ask them, hey, if you were a buyer buying your home, what would you do differently to the house? Again, this all falls for price because you can challenge them. If William said, hey, I want to list my home for $900,000, yet I need a new kitchen, new bath, and a new roof, and the furnace doesn't work anymore. That's a lot of stuff. Are we still a 900,000 here? You sure? You sure we're still at 900,000? Like, let's be honest here. Would you pay 900,000 still have to do all that work? Like, you're going to challenge the consumer a little bit, right? Again, real important, finding out the price before coming there, right? Other questions you would ask would be, will all the decision makers be present when you arrive? That's key. Would you guys agree with that? That's a good one, right? I'll be sending over a package of information where you take a few moments to review it. I'm going to get into that. That's called the pre-listing package. You should make sure you let them know that that's coming their way, right? A really good question to ask them is this. Do you have any specific questions or concerns that you want me to address at our meeting tomorrow at 6? And I see how the way I said that, I'm not going to handle anything on this call, but I do want to know what questions or what concerns that client may have. See, this is the opportunity to pick up objections. They may say stuff like, yeah, what is your marketing plan? Like, what are you going to do to market my home? Right? And I, of course, going to write this down. I'm not going to answer it. Okay, great. Marketing plan. What else? They say, yeah, what's your commission? Hey, great question. The commission. Right? What else? Like, I'm going to keep egging them on till they get exhausted of asking me all these objections that I'm just want them to get off their chest. That's all they're doing. And I have now a list of potential objections that I will get at the presentation itself. What's another question you should ask? Now, this last question, there's a number of them. And of course, those of you, you can go into my scripts under Coach Danny's documents, and you can get these questions that I have. But one real important question that I need you to ask, this question is going to decide whether or not you're going on a listing presentation or whether you're going on a real estate visit. And the question is, if what I make sense and you feel absolutely comfortable and confident that I can get your home sold, will you be in a position to do all the necessary paperwork to put your home on the market with me when I see you tomorrow at 6? See, I'm going to be real upfront with them on this qualifying and ask them if they're going to list the home with me. I'm not going to shy away from that. And if I don't ask that question, if I don't ask them whether they're going to list with me, you're not going on a listing presentation. You're going on a real estate visit. Because I know how some of your conversations are going. It's like, yeah, I can come see you tomorrow, let you know what your home is worth. No, I don't need to know what my home is worth. I need to know if you're really going to list with me. Are you ready to do this? If this makes sense to you, can we do this right now? Right? So that's all under the pre-qualifying. Hey, I haven't even hung up the phone with you yet. I booked the appointment and jumped right into the qualifying. This happens immediately after. Now, if you answer all my questions, is that not a great listing presentation that you have set up?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a great listing presentation set up, ready to go. Okay. Now, next part, write this down, is we need to send out a pre-listing package. Pre-listing package. So you've booked an appointment, you've qualified, you hang up, now you're ready to go immediately. And I love what Renee says. She does a bomb video, saying, hey man, I can't wait to see you. Can't wait. So excited. Right? And then sends up a video, right? I love that. I think that's brilliant. Now, understand this. The purpose of a pre-listing package is for you to control the narrative, right? They're going to Google you. They're going to say, who's this Anthony guy? What has he done before, right? They're going to Google you, right? So you need to control the narrative. By immediately sending some sort of information, you can have an amazing email that has links that they can go and click on. Maybe it has a video of you, like I said, or Renee, talking about, hey, I can't wait to meet with you. They get to see you face to face, but then maybe have some links in there that they can click on. Now you're controlling what they see, right? This can be a link to some testimonials, that's on your website. This can be a link to maybe a marketing plan that you have, like something you want to show them. But bare minimum, folks, I would send them at least an email. I'm going to give you an example of one. Just as simple as this. Just like, thank you for your time on the phone. Really cool. Looking forward to our meeting. And maybe have some PDFs attached to it. You guys can see this? Hope I'm showing the right screen, right? Now, say yes if you can see this.
Yes.
All right. Now, if that, and then the PDF can be, let's say, your marketing material, just some visual aids to show them, right? That can have stuff already in here that they can look at. So it doesn't have to be links. I mean, that is the modern day, having a link with maybe even a thumbnail that they can just click on, and you can have like 3 or 4 different links. I love that perspective. But bare minimum, folks, you can just type in a simple email, save it as a draft, add in some sort of visual aids that you may have for the client, and that's it, right? But at least something goes their way. Okay, guys? All right, I'm going to stop there. I got so much stuff for you. So much stuff. So tomorrow we're going to continue the conversation. But before I let you guys go, you guys have to all unmute yourselves. Unmute. Right? I don't see anyone unmuting themselves. Right. All right. So does anyone have any questions, concerns, hallucinations?
No.
Nope.
You guys all good?
Good.
All right. So then my question to you, What day is it today?
Money-making day.
That's right. It's a money-making day. If you're on this call, it's a money-making day for you. So who do you have to talk to? Who do you have to connect with? What do you have to do to move the needle? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Danny.
Danny.